from the early Cretaceous of South Africa. The name comes from the Xhosa language, and it means hatchling. So this is one of the femurs, and you can see that bar is 5 millimeters, so this is tiny. It's from a hatchling. They found about 27 different individuals just going from the femur material, so thigh bones. Pretty standard technique for that. So at least 27 individuals all kind of jumbled into kind of this narrow bone bed. And from some of the clues that they got from the surrounding formation and this quarry, it suggests that the climate there was seasonal, and so this could be some kind of a seasonal mortality event associated with hatching. Really unusual to find a bone bed that's just a bunch of baby dinosaurs. As far as what this dinosaur would look like, it is an early Cretaceous relative of the late Jurassic Dinosaurus, which you can see here at the park. And so probably would have looked a lot like that. Interestingly enough, Dinosaurus is also known from subadult to juvenile materials. We don't have any real glimpses of what the adults would look like. Probably not too different or too much larger than what you can see here at the park, but still, I mean, we just never found them. So now this is Kelumappasaura, another one that was named using part Greek and Greco-Latin or Latino-Greek or whatever we want to call science speak now, and the Mapuche language. So this is the red earth lizard. It's from the late Cretaceous of Patagonia, and it came from the same environment as Austroraptor, which you can see here at the park. You can see the size though. This is an impressively large duckbill dinosaur. The smaller silhouette here is for the more complete specimen, but they found some larger fragments that suggested this larger size. So kind of take it with a grain of salt when you're trying to estimate size from a really fragmentary skeleton. It's really easy to get it wrong. However, this does put it in the ballpark of the sizes of some of the sauropods that lived in its environment as well. So that's a great illustration of just how big the hadrosaurs could get, and kind of how there would have been some niche partitioning, or rather kind of ecological specialization. Each of the hadrosaurs and the sauropods, each of them would have had kind of a different job or subset of a job to do in its environment. You're going to laugh when I say the name of this dinosaur. Mike. Mike. That's a funny sounding name for something that is really, really scary as all get out. A mite in the mythology of people in the Andes is the shadow of death that kills with cold wind. It's a personification of hypothermia that you would get if you go high up in the mountains. Okay, so kind of an evil spirit sort of a thing. It's pretty scary, right? Gets scarier. This is one of the largest of the megaraptors. I have here a megaraptor claw from its hand. For comparison, Mike is about the size of Allosaurus. So is Megaraptor for that matter. Mike might be the biggest of the megaraptors, but megaraptors had kind of a different way of hunting. We're not entirely sure. They're a really mysterious group. We're not sure whether they're more closely related to the tyrannosaurs or to the allosaurs. But they had these big claws on their hand and kind of odd joints to their arms. Most meat-eating dinosaurs could not move their arms forward very far at all. So if you ever see pictures of these guys grabbing something with their arms, they couldn't do that. Deinonychus couldn't reach its hands to its mouth any more than Tyrannosaurus rex could, even though it has super long arms for its size, simply because it couldn't move its arms forward far enough to do that. Megaraptors are a little bit different. They could move their arms farther forward, and so it appears that they were using these like meat hooks to grab onto something. They had kind of weakish jaws, and so I've heard people suggest that maybe they would grab onto things and just shred them with their teeth when they hunted. So, kind of scary. The name Manuka-Celsior, again, this is another Mapuche / Greco-Latin name. Manuka-Celsior means watering hole in Mapuche, and then Excelsior is the Excelsior. It means higher. So, like this guy, I guess he liked to drink from high watering holes. That's what the name evokes, at least. Either that or he was like, ruler over the watering hole at 26 feet. I don't think so. Of course, I don't know whether this is a juvenile or an adult either, so kind of take that smaller size with a bit of a grain of salt. All right, this is one of the ones named more recently, and this one's really exciting, especially if you like the big meaty dinosaurs. This is Meraxes, and it is named for a dragon from the Game of Thrones series. What's really cool about this, this is one of the more complete Carcharodontosaur skeletons that we have. It is a relative of Giganotosaurus, which you can see right out there here at the park. But it's got a lot better preservation and more elements than what we can find in Giganotosaurus. And it's in the same kind of ballpark size range, a little bit smaller, but not by much. And you can see we've got a great skull for this, which changed some of our size estimates for it. That's a 4-foot long skull, a little bit longer than what you see for Acrocanthosaurus, and that means that Giganotosaurus' skull might have been pushing much larger sizes than we would have thought. The other really cool thing about this, we don't have good forelimb material for this particular branch of the Giganotosaur tribe, I should say. But we did get a lot of the arm here. It's got the 3 claws, but proportionally it is about as long as what you would see in a Tyrannosaurid. So that's really interesting. Maybe there's something going on here where that's size-related and has to do with the shrinking of those arms, but they are functional arms. They were doing something with them, unlike the Abelisaurs. So go figure for that. Its toe claws are also unusually blade-shaped for a dinosaur, a carnosaur of this size. You can also see the hip bones have kind of a nice tyrannosaur-y sort of a look to them in general parameters. So really, really interesting dinosaur, and kind of a new favorite of some of my friends who really dig the carnosaur. Meraxes gigas is